Okay, so gonna go back to this traditional draft. I don't know why I did this yesterday, like draft or the game. Uh, I didn't get almost any sleep the night prior, and it really shows. I recorded the first game, and it was like an hour, and it was just like I played really bad, which isn't the worst part, but I was just talking like once every 10 minutes, just kind of just like, oh, no. So that's not going to make it to the final cut. And I bet the draft deck is actually pretty fucking bad. Let's take a look. So yeah, we're 0-1. 2 keepers. It's not horrendous in the lack of removal spells. Real removal spells, these two hardly count. It is noteworthy, because if you're in black and you don't have removal spells, you're probably playing a Blad black deck. It's also not particularly synergistic. I mean, it's got a little bit of food, but there's not a lot of... It's got a fair amount of food payoffs. Or, sorry, generators, but not like the payoffs. Like, Tempting Witch is a good payoff. We have one, you know. Deathless Knight is kind of a payoff. Deathless Knight Revenge of Ravens is an excellent combo. So that's a nice little pocket of synergy. But it also, you know, this deck is highly grindy, so this is a weird card in general, but, you know, it's not bad. I mean, like, the fact that these two together, you know, is kind of just like an infinite, you know, they can't attack or recur a creature. Like, that's good. Like, it seems pretty decent, but again, it doesn't seem to have, like, the tight synergy you want. And in Throne of Eldraine, synergy is king, so I remember losing to a Selesnya aggro deck. And admittedly, that deck wasn't insanely synergistic. I just remember that I had some rough draws, if I recall, in game 2. Like, they won with flyers, like, because I got Revenge of Ravens out and their aggro deck didn't do well against that, so they basically just, like, got big flyers. So I sided in a couple tall speed socks, and then I didn't draw them, even though the game went to, like, turn 30, so that was kind of bad. And they also had, like, a few, like, extremely potent rares, all in their colors. Like, I know they had Giant Killer, which was good, and then I just kind of tapped down my only things that could stop the reach creatures. They had, like... I can't remember, but their deck was very good. It was much better than ours was. But that's okay. Yeah, well, I don't know what possessed me, because I must have felt, like, really tired, but I guess I felt like I was just a little sleepy and not, like, sleep deprived, so I guess I was probably expecting to eventually get there on the sleep, but that clearly did not work out. Well, let's see. I mean, the deck's not a total travesty, but I don't feel super strong about it, but maybe in the 0-1 bracket will do okay. Man, I wish I could have my Christmas music going while recording. It is November 20th, so it's already basically Christmas. So, let's do this. Hopefully we can get something going. Like I said, the deck is very attrition-based, so, like, if we can stop an aggro deck, like if it's a crown-based aggro deck, this is not particularly good. But we have the Rose Thorn Acolyte, which means that we can potentially do some stuff with the Seasonal Ritual cantrip. Or the Seasonal Ritual, not a cantrip. We could even, like, bin one of these Forever Youngs. Not bin, but, like, just use it for the cycle on turn 2. So I think this is, and we're on the draw, so we could draw another green card, we could draw a Swamp and not have to deal with that, or we could draw Festive Funeral, which is about as bad as it could be. So they're red, so right up the gate, we're expecting them to be a little more aggressive, so cycling for everyone doesn't feel too bad. Okay. Oh. So submit 0 and just draw a card. The Crystal Slipper is pretty bad. Like, if they're playing a mono red deck, and this is like the first thing they're doing, like, I mean, sure, on turn 4 we're about to, or on turn 3 we're about to hit 4 damage, but it's not the worst thing in the world that could happen to us. So we'll just play out our Rose Thorn Acolyte. Oh, well, okay, well, maybe this is working out better for them than I thought. I guess we might have to use our Wildborn Preserver as just a blocker. It's kind of unfortunate, but I'm not too happy about using it like that, but we have the Forever Young again. So we'll flash in the Wildborn Preserver. Hopefully they don't have another instant speed removal spell, although, you know, they could definitely have something to the tune of Scorching Dragonfire or whatever. Okay, well, at least we stopped that. And we're putting cards in the graveyard, so our Festive Funeral, as bad as this card is, will do something. I think I'm going to do Scalding Cauldron. I would Foreboding Fruit, but they have the ability to give whatever creatures they drop haste, and I want to be able to protect myself by dealing 3 damage to any dinky creature they play that they want to kid up. Right, like, we'll probably just pop this off now. You know, we're just building up our graveyard. Okay, let's pay an adamant Foreboding Fruit, so we'll lose 2, but we'll make a food token, so we'll ultimately net 1, which is nice. We'll play a Golden Egg, putting food into play. Not really having the most luck with getting our food generators, but now we got a couple food plays with us. I'm going to play the Gingerbread Cap tapped, even though I'm 1 land away from getting other food, which might seem odd, but the only reason I'm doing it is so that next turn I can untap Lucky Clover into Reaper of Night and strip probably what'll be their entire hand. Shoot, that's really bad, but we'll survive next turn. So I still think this is the play. Because again, basically we're getting rid of anything they have in their hands. So they're getting rid of, so their top deck is all they're going to have. So if they don't, so if they top deck, you know, they top deck a land, they can equip and pump that, which is bad, but it doesn't kill us, you know. If they equip this, that's fine. They can't pump as well. We'll take 6, which isn't good by any stretch, but we can Festive Funeral that creature pretty comfortably, which is nice. That's 7. So we can eat a food and Festive Funeral. So red, white. Oh my gosh. Wow, they're kind of kicking my ass. They're completely cut off of one of their colors. That doesn't bode well for game 2. So we have, so we can Festive Funeral and eat a food this coming turn. So I just want to see if maybe they'll commit something else to the Fireborn Knight. Doesn't seem like that's the case. So cast Festive Funeral. Don't think red has anything that would help them out there. So pass back to us, we'll eat a food, go up to 7. Having done this, I feel pretty confident about our abilities to close out this game. Because we can, you know, we can put something huge like our Reaper Knight into play. It's a 4/5, it should block pretty much anything. and if not, just eat it. Maybe trade if we're in a situation where they get something big enough, and then they give it haste. Yeah. Bone Crusher Giant, wow. It's a good card to have. I'm gonna play the Tempting Witch. And I'll play the Merrily Rider. I would do the Toonvale Tree Folk, but I don't want to. I'm trying to think. We could get killed by. What could we get killed by? 5 mana. Totally sure. I think that. So I'm going to go to combat. I'm going to attack with the 4/5, but I'm going to also put out the Merrily Rider, which should, you know, give us some blocks, and also lets us consume the food, which I want to do if I can. Like, I don't think I have a huge need to play the Toonvale Tree Folk yet. I'd rather play kind of slow and safe and be able to eat my food. And then after that, we can start to. Oof. Yeah. Very interesting. So we'll eat this food for sure. And I think we're going to sacrifice the Golden Egg to make the 2/2 blocker Merrily Rider. Just because flying creatures are not something our deck handles well. And with Lucky Clover, I can put power onto both of my creatures. Maybe put onto the Tempting Witch, so I can leave it back for blocks. So it becomes a 3/5. It blocks the Bone Crusher Giant. Although it doesn't block the Bone Crusher Giant while the Crystal Slipper is on it. So I'll probably just put it on here. I'll leave this back for blocks this turn. So I'm going to sacrifice. So they have nothing they can do in response, which is nice. I'm going to sack this Golden Egg to make the 2/2 flyer block with 5/3, so they're going to get got. And if they choose to double block for some reason, they'll lose both their creatures, so it seems like this is a pretty good bet. So we're going to put the Merrily Rider. Yeah, so that blocks. Okay, deal with flyer, always good for us. Excuse me, and we'll generate another food. So we're in a pretty good spot. 8 health with 1 food in play means we can either go up to 11 if we have to really badly. We can also use it with the Merrily Rider again if they play something that, you know, we can block. Ooh, that's tight. Oh boy. Okay, so if they can do 1 more damage, we just lose. Okay. Oh. Yeah, see, this is the thing you gotta, when it comes to, you know, being ready for, what I'm trying to say, being ready to deal with red decks is that, you know, red-white, I guess, too, if they can give something flying, it can be a lot of damage. So we saw, let me look at the graveyard. Let me look at the graveyard in the sideboard phase, you coward. Alright, well. There we go. Blow your house down, make things able to block. There's a lot of burn damage, or not a lot of burn damage, but we saw some burn damage, and flying creatures, so I think that actually this is a situation where what do I want to take out? So I got one Forever Young. And maybe a Deathless Knight? Lucky Clover is probably a little greedy against their deck. I mean, we did get to do that Sweet Reaver of Night thing, but I don't think that deck runs that slow normally. They probably would have been running a lot faster and play out their hand a lot more if they got their mana. And I'm not going to bank on them having bad luck twice. That seems like a poor decision. The Garenbrig Carver is good against Burn, so I think we'll keep it in. Festive Funeral is okay, because they have low-cost creatures, so in a really bad situation. It's really slow, but we don't have much else for it. We'll pop in our Fell the Pheasant, and we'll pop in our Tall as a Beanstalk. So we have something that's good against Burn and Flying, and then we just have a Flying kill spell for the few things that might give us some grief in the air. That seems good to me. So we'll quickly submit before we run out. Can I keep that? Probably not. I can keep that. Reaper of Night might be a bit too slow against an aggro deck. As much as I like to make my opponents discard, probably need to keep the low drop, the thing that can help me kill a flying creature, and then Savvy Hunter, because Savvy Hunter blocks really well and makes food when it does so. So, unfortunate. Yep. Already got some people in the air. Well, I'd be pretty happy to trade the Mereleaf Rider for the 2/2 on the defensive, if they can't get it into the air next turn, but they had like that cheap equipment and stuff, so it's totally possible that they can. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, like I said, happy to make this trade here. I want the game to go long. And it's doubtful, yeah, like I said, it seemed doubtful I had something that bumped the toughness of this at instant speed. So the Rimrock Knight coming in. Which is pretty bad news for me. Not too happy about that. Play the Savvy Hunter. This thing doesn't have haste and it can't block, so I might be able to get like a free attack in, make food. I think attacking with this thing, even in this against this strategy, is not too bad, especially if I play a blocker next turn, because I can, well, probably can't do that anymore. What I was gonna say is that I can get a free attack and make food, get another food for free, which is probably good. But no doubt notice that doesn't seem to be the plan. Play the Tempting Witch, makes a food. I can trade it with the Shepherd of the Flock, which is pretty good. Because I don't really need to keep this around to burn people out, obviously. That is not what I'm trying to do in this matchup. Missing land drops, which is good for us. Play the Rimrock Knight, sure thing, sure thing. Video game adversary kind of pairs quite poorly, unfortunately. I'm gonna play the golden egg. If I draw a land, then I can play the 2/3, and if I don't, then I eat the food. So either way, I'm kind of happy. Okay, so I'll eat the food, and next turn I'll play a 4/4. Seems good. That makes the food. Seems quite good. This doesn't seem like the way to win this game. Especially if I got my food generation online. A deck with the 1/1 in the air is not going to do it, especially if I ever draw into my Revenge of Ravens. Alright, so we got another one. We will still probably play the first Witch Stalker, as it does really well against their board. I can even attack with this thing, and they can't do anything about it. Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but I mean, I guess they went down 2 creatures to, they went down 2 cards to kill my Savvy Hunter. Very interesting. Alright, we'll play that. Swing away. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. Play the Roseman Acolyte. So I need a food, or Fell the Pheasant. I might rip Fell the Pheasant off on this Fairy Guide Mother if they did something to like pump it in any way to kind of trade up on card economy. Because it doesn't seem like, other than the Flurflocks, I didn't see anything last game that's like a very powerful flying threat. And they're kind of stuck on mana a little bit, so if they were to, you know, do something to pump up their creature, I'd be pretty happy to go ahead and just swing in. Sure thing. Let's eat a food. That's pretty good. I think there's a 6/6 with trample. That means that I have to trade both of these. Well, I have to trade 2 guys no matter what. So I think that's actually not that good. Maybe I should put it on the 2/3, so it becomes a 4/5 that blocks their whole board really effectively. It only dies to a Searing Barrage, or like a white removal spell. That seems better, but let's attack with the 4/4 first. They're just letting that through, huh? I think someone needs to tell this Boros player that I has the green-black deck and winning this race against them. They should be made aware. And the next turn I can play a 6/5. So that seems good. Really, drawing Revenge of Ravens at any point in this game probably just wins me the game, because I'm winning this race, and I'll be jilted. Pretty soon I'll be at the point where they just can't attack me, or they would kill themselves, and I'm not even close to dying, so. The Bone Crusher Giant, just hard casting it. So I can slam the Fierce Witch Stalker into that. Fortunately, you know, they just trade for it without losing much. Play the Edgeline Keeper. Well, let's go for an attack first. So we'll make this trade again. We got, with Festive Funeral and Frederick in our deck, we don't really mind, especially when we've kind of like stabilized the board this effectively. We aren't super concerned about trading creatures with them. Trading is much better for us than them. This game feels pretty good. It would probably take like a mythic or bomb that we didn't see to kind of change the tides of how this is going for right now. Sure. There's a lot of damage, but I can nullify at least like one of the attacks by eating food. They're not even going to full swing because they want creatures. Yeah, right? Like they can't full swing because I would win on the crackback probably. This is 4, 6, 7, 8. And then 9, 10, 11 if I use Tempting Witch. Yeah, like they don't really have choice. And taking 7 is good, but not like game ending. No blocks. I'll take 6. In response, I'll just eat it. I can still tap this for mana, so that also nullified that image. Well, okay. Let's get in with our 2/3 that draws us a card if it connects. They'll almost certainly trade it for their 3/1, which again, I don't mind too bad. Go ahead and make that trade, and well, pretty sure after doing this, they will probably concede, because it doesn't seem likely that they have a good way of kind of getting around the healing and the damage this will do to them. They could have True Love's Kiss, I suppose. I didn't see it, but it's definitely a good card to bring out of the sideboard almost all the time. Like, I main board that thing, so sure, it's still not a flying creature. And even if it is flying, with the ruin triggered out, I'm not too worried about it. Okay. Sure. Gonna attack again. Yeah. Sure thing. So I'm gonna take 8 damage here. Can I kill? I can't quite kill the crackback. I would need. Oh wait, I can if I hold on. Oh, it's so close. Because I can fell the pheasant that to get a food, which I can then use the Tempting Witch to whatever. Oh no, because I do it this turn. I do this on the end step, so then they go down to 6, and then I have 6 damage on board. Okay. Seems good to me. Yeah. Kill the Fairy Guide Mother. Oh no, wait, because I use my dumbass. That uses mana too. Well, no excuse this time, because I feel pretty well rested, so. That was just me being bad at this game. Swing in for 5. They cannot launch an attack without healing, because as soon as they do, I can just, yeah, basically. I mean, I did the math bad, but I was still in a good position, so thankfully I wasn't punished. Alright, so we're 1-1. That's good. The deck seems, like I said, if we play against aggro decks like that the whole time, we'll be in a pretty good position. How did I get 350 gold? Oh, yeah, because I went 2 off, right. So I got the 250 and 100, of course. Oh, well, that's nice. I would be, after kind of throwing away a whole match, I would be kind of upset if I went ahead and went 0-2. I would be very, very cross with past sleepless. Take the play. decent. You know, gets a Scalding Cauldron out if they're an aggressive deck. It's not a great aggressive whatever, but on the play it's better. Get the Deathless Knight on turn 4. Hopefully we'll not draw a bunch of lands, but this is certainly good enough to keep. Don't want a mulligan. Our deck isn't, you know, insanely powerful. Well, Pro Magic Arena tip. Every time you keep a hand with 4 lands and then do not want to draw lands, you will always draw lands. Thankfully, they're not super fast, so we're not going to get super punished for it. In fact, we now have enough mana in our hand to cast our 6-drop. Wow! Isn't that nice? This doesn't seem like a big enough threat for us to Scalding Cauldron it. They might play something else. It's good, but it's not, like, crazy. Oh boy. Play the Deathless Knight. I guess we're an aggro deck today. Of course, they can now just keep the 2/2 back and use it to block, but I mean, that's not the worst. We like that for our deck. I can put counters on this, make it a 6/4. Then their blocks aren't good at all. They're just gonna race me? Are they gonna play a creature that can whack? They do have Bake into a Pie mana they're representing, which would make this play make more sense. Considering I have Forever Young, I think I might do this anyways, because I can get this back if there's an error. But presumably this is what this mana represents. Yeah. Okay. So I can Forever Young to get both of those back. Or I can get the Deathless Knight back when I heal next, which hopefully will be soon. So, okay, now our Flood is actively working against us, which is quite unfortunate, but they're not blinding speed, so that is not what I need, fam. Play the Eldraine Keeper, we can Scalding Cauldron. It's fine. Alright, pretty aggressive here. Is this like an aggressive food deck? Then, Tempting Witches are specifically used to burn out. No blocks. Again, not ideal, but we're already getting pretty low. This could represent a lot more damage overall. I feel like there's a combat trick coming which would explain this attack over just keeping it back to heal, because I see my Scalding Cauldron. But I'm getting really low, and I kind of feel like I do have to force their hand a little bit. I'm going to take care of the Tempting Witch, because that can, more on a long-term basis, deal more damage. But they have 4 cards in hand, totally open mana. That's a weird attack. Okay, so I guess there must be another reason why they did that, because that did seem like the natural place to... Oh, okay. They just wanted to try and get that dealt with. Oh, that's bad news. Okay, let me think. Definitely enough Forever Young. Don't have enough to just play the Toon Mill Truth Folk, so I probably will end up putting Deathless Knight on top. Top button, yes, okay. So draw the Deathless Knight, and I will just play it to block that. That's going to become 6. Oof, probably going to have to chump with the Eldraine Keeper, unfortunately. so I will not be drawing a card off of our 2 and Balefree Folk this time, but I'll be able to play it at least. Why? I'm pretty happy to do this. I can get this back very easily. I think they would want to put more damage in play. I guess they're just being really safe with their Surferin, but I am sure. Got to draw a card, put another one into play. No doubt this is going to be one big bear, but I can block it with my... It doesn't get me trample or anything, just makes it a 6/6. So I block it there, block one there. Probably take 4. No. Because I can always Forever Young it back if I draw like an adventure card and I really want to like draw. Holy shit. Okay, well, this is a good draw. It gives us a lot of blockers. Is it enough so we can block 2? 3? So currently this only blocks 6. Damn it. I think we just lose. Say the enchant cards makes us 2 mice. We can chump 1, 2, eat the 3rd, take 6. Yeah, that's game. Interesting. So it's like a green-black aggro deck with Bag and No Pie. So they have unconditional removal. So stuff like the giant beanstalk is very bad. Or it's all as beanstalk. They didn't seem to have flying. Insatiable Appetite might not be completely out of place. It kind of seems like they'll be doing a lot of combat. But I don't think it's better than anything we have. So we did not an ideal job drafting this deck. So our options out of the sideboard are pretty limited. We might fare a little bit better. Well, 1 Forever Young is probably enough. Cauldron's Gift is really expensive. Just don't know what we would play instead. Maybe a Jousting Token? Just maybe another early drop is good. Let me see what kind of stuff they have. They did have like 2 drops. A lot of 2 drops. This might be okay. Ideally, we'd have like a 1/3 or something, but we don't. So I think this might be just better than the second Forever Young. You know, again, if we can drive the game out, our deck is favored to win longer term. Oh, come on, man. This is so close to being good. If this was green, it'd be good. Well, that's fine. It's just so close. This is actually really heartbreaking. We're even on the play. I'm not even on the draw with this. If I miss a land drop, I probably lose immediately. If I hit a land drop, I'm in a really strong position. I don't think I can do it. If this was green, I would keep this, but it's a swamp, and my mulligan hand's going to be terrible. Oh, oh no. Oh, yeah, we'll keep it. You hate to see it. I'd love to get adamant going on this foreboding fruit because the food is going to be really helpful in our situation. But I don't see that being that. I don't see that working out for us. Giant skewer, huh? Interesting. Of course. Yeah, like I said, this is a slow start from them, so I feel okay. It sucks that we're not going to get food, but Lord knows we need to draw another land and then a lucky clover when our only adventure can't find a legal target, you know. Alright, come on. Counting on you. Really is nothing. Play the lucky clover. At least we can turn the Eldraine Keeper into a 5/5 if they spend their turn equipping this, which they probably will. They did not. Ooh, why though? They must want to play something else. Lost Legion? Sure. That works for me. Oh, I got Revenge of Ravens, which is good. Because they were, again, definitely more aggressive. And we know that they can't kill in response, so this is going to be... This is a cute little play we got going on here. 5/5 Eldraine Keeper. Unfortunately, they're black, so if this was like a red deck, this would feel so much better, because it will be hard to burn this out. But, I mean, they'll play a land drop they can kill with Begging No Pie. You know, it's... not as... I mean, it's good if they don't have it, but if they do have it, you know, against a black deck, this isn't as strong as a play as it might seem. Presumably they don't have it, because it seems like this would be a pretty easy turn if I was in their position. But maybe they have information I don't. Okay. So they can equip that next turn, which is good. But that'll only turn it into a 6/6, which this can trade with. I'm happy with that. Another one. Oh, that's something. It's still not insurmountable. We have the Scalding Cauldron, so combined with this and this, we can kill that. But that's quite a play. This deck went from aggro to being a lot more slow. It's a good sideboard in front of our opponents if that was intentional. If they had the ability to just do that this whole time. So if we play the Revenge of Ravens, we can still Scalding Cauldron, so I'll play out the Revenge of Ravens. Want to get that down as early as possible, kind of help protect us from getting run over. Although if they're going to go super tall, Revenge of Ravens is quite weak. So this is interesting. This is a very different deck than what we played last game. It's very curious. Okay, still not interested in it. Oh dear. Okay. Well, it's not too bad. Make food. Man, a Bog Naughty would go down so smooth right now. Oh, sorry. We'll make 2 food. Draw a card. Another land. Blah. We won't play the First Switch Soccer for the exact same reason I said last turn we want to keep 3 mana up. Let me do the math. This will become 9 if he puts both skewers on it. We can still do a Scalding Cauldron Tree Folk block. Though this plan is becoming more and more dicey as time goes on because, you know, we now are, you know, really in danger. I might swing with the 5/5 because they can't double block and kill it. And if they block with this, I do that anyways, and I'm feeling like we've drawn a few cards off of this, so I think that taking this opportunity to attack seems pretty good. Because I can do that, and then they have no mana open, so they're gonna, yeah. So this seems good. Submit. So that will come, yeah. So these will trade off. It's, you know, decent. But at 2 Giant Skewers, 2 Invisible Tree Folks, like, was this in the deck all along and they just had a really aggressive start last game? What a weird game 2 this is. So strange. That's pretty good to have kind of in the back pocket. That could be a nasty surprise for our opponent. Make another food. Because this can, basically this reads as, you know, we have +4/+4, which is quite good for us. So I want to see what their big plan is. Sure. That is good. Most definitely. Yeah, that seems like... Okay, so this is their kind of gimmick. They're Voltroning up Sir Farron. I mean, that's definitely a decent maneuver. But both of the Giant Skewers don't make this like a unbeatable threat. Forever Young, so that's good. We can start more liberally trading off creatures at this point, which is very exciting. Got a lot of adventure creatures in our kind of realm, and we have the Edgewalling Keeper, so this Forever Young will be quite good when we fire it off. If I attack with the Tombstone Tree Folk, they probably block there. Let's see what they do. This information. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I kind of want creatures in the graveyard now. I'm using Fierce Witchtalker with our double pump to double its power and toughness on a block for Sir Farron, which I'm assuming they're going to do this turn. Savvy Hunter, okay. So much food. This truly, that they must have just had a really aggressive start and completely pulled the wool over my eyes. Yeah, that makes sense. That is a sensible play. And hopefully, unless this 2 mana represents something pretty massive that I'm not thinking of, we'll punish them pretty heavily for it right here. And we'll chop with the Curious Pair, you know. Yep. And they have enough food that they don't need to worry about this killing them, that's for sure, but... Okay. Well, that's something to think of. They do sacrifice the food. This still trades, so I'm gonna do that. Again, Forever Young, I'm very happy to very liberally just kind of throw stuff in the way. You know, put this there, put this there. Especially because, you know, with the recurring next turn we'll do of 8/8. Lucky Clover, very strong card. If you can ever pick this early and build around it, you probably should. Like, such a payoff. Massive payoff. Do I want to eat food? I think I want to save my food. I never know when I'm going to need it. Oh my lord. Well, they don't have 4 cards in hand, but I'm happy to just strip them of both those cards. Excellent. Yeah, we'll Forever Young now. Put everything back. And then we won't cast any of them this turn. But next turn we'll just kind of go like bam, 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 and chain all these guys together. Well, we might put in the second Forever Young if this deck that we're playing against is secretly just aggro AF. We'll pass. We'll take a pass on this one. We can heal with one of our foods. They don't have a huge amount of damage. They can equip one of their creatures with this giant skewer, and it is going to be a significant amount of damage, but I didn't want to put the Edgewalling Keeper at risk. No, it's not like they're on Edgewalling Keeper. So yeah, we'll take a fair chunk of damage, but we have so much food that I'm not super concerned. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll heal a little bit off of the Savvy Hunter as well, so... Taking, what, 7 damage here? Heal 3 more. It's not a terrifying situation for us to be in. They can draw cards off the Savvy Hunter, though. Or a card off the Savvy Hunter. It's not nothing, but I'm also happy for them to not have ammo with Tempting Witch or stuff to heal themselves with the Revenge Cravens. So, there's that, but... Okay, so we start with the Edgewalling Keeper, of course. We will play Curious Pear Adventure to make 2 food. It leaves us with some amount of mana. So we have 7 mana left, so we have 6 here. I won't lie, I'm going to play the Reaper of Night. It blocks most of their board just fine. Lets us start swinging over, so that they have to be way more judicious with how they use their food. We can survive 1 turn of attacks really. We can survive an attack from this really easily. And then next turn we can just put a ton of damage onto the board. Yeah, for sure. Make it 7-5. That's okay. Go down to 11. Got 5 food in play that I can start eating next turn. This is not a concern of mine at all. It seems like they have a lot of damage on board, but starting this turn, I'm going to have a huge amount of blockers. This doesn't give trample or anything. You know, it's easy to chump block. I just didn't want to chump with either of these, especially when my life total was so high and I have 5 food worth of a barrier. And the other thing is, my 2 Veltree folk, they can't bake into a pie. They don't have mana for it, so I'm perfectly safe to turn this 4/5 into a 7/9 or an 8/9. Sorry, math is bad. That flies, and I'm just going to take over half their life. So now, again, they're stuck between. They have very few cards in hand, which allows the Reaper to attack. So if they use Savvy Hunter today for resources, they can't heal. If they heal, they can't draw cards. You know, so this has put them in a real bind. I play the Curious Pear out. It can block the Savvy Hunter just fine. And I can eat 2 food this turn. So, yeah, no fear. So they are opting to gain life. Makes sense. They were, at less than 8. So let's probably attack with the Savvy Hunter again to generate a food, which is good for them, of course, but I'm more than happy to just throw this in front. Sorry, children. I need this. I need you to get in the way of this hunter. So they'll generate 3 food here, or they'll generate 2 food, so they have 3, which isn't nothing. They can eat all of it, so they can gain 9 life here. But doing that takes their entire turn. Because they're choosing to draw a card, so that makes sense. They probably won't play anything. Yeah, so that they're protected against the Reaper of Night, which does make a lot of sense. But keeping this back on blocks in this situation is fine by me as well. I mean, it is just currently an 8/9, which is pretty good on defense. We eat 2 food, leaving me with 3. Let's make another food. Let's go for it. Play the Trifling. The Fierce Witch Stalker. Make another food. Play the Twin Bell Tree Folk to draw a card and put a 6/5 into play. Got Festive Funeral now, which is only at 5, unfortunately. But this being instant speed, it does give us the potential to maybe make an attack where the Reaper doesn't fly. Although it's about to get... Oh, okay. That was a pretty good one. Pretty decent 2-for-1 from our opponent there. Let's play out our Okame Adversary. The Death Touch is pretty sweet. Pass the turn for now. Much slower deck than I realized. Oh, that sucks. Definitely probably going to take the Jousted Dummy out for another Forever Young again, considering how slow these guys are. Sure. An interesting choice. It is certainly possible that we might end up with some games where we just kind of... Sure. Where we go to decking. So they're using their food to heal, which makes sense. Now that I have my Tempting Witch out, I could start throwing my food at them, but just let them go really wide. Going wide doesn't really help them all that much as long as I have the Revenge of Ravens in play. And this can destroy, but it has to get through, and I have a more than enough blocks to make that an impossibility for them. That's Golgari break, huh? So they're at 13 and I'm at 14, so they are a card ahead. Or a card closer to decking, so potentially that's how this game is going to end. Not the best part of Eldraine, probably, but it is part of the format. If I do that, then I'm closer to decking. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I think I'll just keep this in my hand. If they draw some more cards, so I have a safety net. See, but weird. Why? That's a human. These are all non-humans. You might have the rare non-human buff card. Well, clearly, I'm going to. I didn't do the math, but can you imagine? Oh, it's close. Certainly very close. In fact, go to 7. What a weird attack. Might just let these two through so that they can't make another food off of combat. We'll of course block here. Choose to block here. Block here. Let through 10, 15. I'm at 26. I have 6 food available. That seems fine. That +3/+3 doesn't kill me. Sure thing. Them going so low is an interesting choice. Sure thing. Interesting situation. Death Fight actually just wins me the game. Because it adds another creature with haste to the board. No, fortunately not. It's alright. They can't attack anymore, which is good for us. We'll just kill their Reaper of Night, I guess. Guess they don't want that. In response, I will make you lose 2 life. Things aren't looking good again, unfortunately for us. Sure. Let me think. Oddly enough, I think there is a interesting way we could cheese a victory with our Marrowleaf Rider with this much food, but it seems to be fast approaching the reality where we have to use our food to heal ourselves. Sure. Okay. This is lethal, so I will block, of course. Well, also this attacking, so I'll give them 3 food, which is good. Go crazy. Oh, back up to 7. Can much more freely attack now. It's gonna need 1 food, right? Okay. No attacks for me, thanks. At least we get to see the whole deck, which is nice. So, they can jump high, Epic Downfall. They do have a couple really good pieces of removal. Really nothing I can do. Just gonna pass. Deathless Knight, which would go down really smooth right now to be able to kind of recur that. Oh. They paid Adamant? They must intend on winning, like, really quickly. If they're gonna mill for every young Icy now. Okay. Well, that's extremely strong. It's definitely a scary card for us. It's hard to block it. Got the Wildborn Preserver. That's not terrible. I mean, I would love to see our Deathless Knight. We only have 7 cards left in library. So if we could get a loop of that going in the next couple turns. Yeah, go right on ahead. Definitely go on ahead and do one of. Oh, you're right. My mistake. Do one of those. Probably just take 4. Really? Leave the food production. That's an interesting choice. Can't say I understand it. Splash in the Wild Boar Preserver. 7 cards, man. Deathless Knight. Alright, well. Rarely Frighter counts. I can pour all my mana into the Wild Boar Preserver to make it block the Reaper of Night when it's flying. So I got 10 mana left. So I can put... Go ahead. Eat a food. Call the cops. So 3... So we have 10 mana available. So we might as well pump 8, because 3 doesn't let us eat 2 food. So to be more efficient of our resources, and we have no other reason to do so. So, alright, looking pretty good. How many cards I got left? Yeah, okay, so yeah, they have... Let's see, so it's a lot more grindy than I thought. Really interesting. With that in mind, you're out. You're in. Didn't really have anything. They had like the witches, no, the giant skewer. Sorry. But that's really not that much. Tallest Beanstalk doesn't do well against their removal, so keep it in the board. With 2 Forever Youngs in the deck, the Eye Collector might not be too bad. Might be better than the Merrily Friar. Because they have 1 Forever Young and we have 2, so we do a lot better bouncing back against Mill. So, I mean, the Merrily Friar, for example, would have been really, not the Merrily Friar, the, whatever that 1/1 Mill each player 1 card would be pretty decent in the last game. Would have won us the game sooner. This is fine. We're on the draw. I would weep if we next turn got Lucky Clover and then got the turn 3 discard 4. That would truly be a beautiful sight. But since that doesn't seem to be happening, I guess I'll just flash in Wildborn Preserver. Sure. Go right ahead. Oh, those cards must be pretty good. Not bad. Could be worse. A 3/3 against the 2/3 is pretty good. They'll either put all their money into Giant Skewer, which is fine, and then lets me attack back with the 7. It's either. Or they'll bake it into a buy. Don't worry, I'll come back for you with my 2 Forever Youngs. No blocks, please. You got 3 cards in hand. Let's change that. So removal spell and a guaranteed card. So that 3rd card must be pretty important. Because getting rid of an epic downfall when you... So that's both of their pieces of single target removal gone, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so they're just making this huge. Sure. Let's go crazy. Go hog wild. I don't mind a bit. Play the first Watchstalker, buff this up to a 3/3. We're getting there. We're not in real danger yet. Swing in for 3. Obviously, we don't want to be doing this race forever, but I'm not going to block with the Wildborn Preserver next turn, so might as well chip in for 3 damage. Restore Acolyte, sure. Fine by me. I'll go down to 10. I have a food. I got stuff to make this work. Okay. Let's get this really big. And you know what? This is not going to kill me next turn out of nowhere. Let's take a really aggressive tact. Sure. So bring them down to 8. We can block with this. So we can play the Twin Veil True Folk. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Take 4 damage. Sure. They can play their 6/5. Play this, we can pump by 1, making that a 7/7. And then we can eat a food as well. That seems fine. Perfect. So 7/7 is pretty big game. If I attack with this, they probably block, or they go down to 1, which is pretty bad for them. If I can double block, and I don't like that too much. Pass the turn for now. We have relatively decent Deathless Knight recursion thing going on. We can get him back once or twice. Let's pump up the Wildborn Preserver until we're at a point where we can kind of just slam and enforce them to trade every single turn. They're in complete top deck mode. They can sure make food, but doing a lot more damage than that. Okay, like another Twin Veil True Folk? Sure. I'm happy with that. That's going to make things even worse for them at this kind of low life total that they're dealing with. But still have enough for a food. Revert the Knight can come out next turn if I don't try anything better. Totally. Go for it. Yeah. Just jump, give you food. It's fine. Okay. Finish off that tree folk. Go for the Reaper Knight here. It's gonna block either of these. Fortunately, I have no mana. No problem. Make that trade. So make another one. Make a food token. Play our lad. If we go up to 9, the Wildborn Purple Server cannot be killed. They have to block it or they lose. Well, yeah. We're gonna make them. We can leave this back on blocks. Heal off the Revenge of Ravens. I think that is what we want to do. This is gonna be 4 unblockable, so they can heal too, sure, but this is a huge attack. And it'll probably leave them in shambles. So, kill one of their potential attackers. I'll make a food, sure. When they're in top deck mode, this is exactly what you want to be doing with a 9/9 if they're at 9. Sure. Sure. Yeah, no problem for me. They don't have mana to use their food, and I have a haster. I don't know. Math is for blockers, but I'm pretty sure they can't block the Burb Knight, and blocking, yeah, they just lose. Ooh, right on. Okay, well, that's great. We went from our brain hazed 0-1 to two victories. So we're at 2 wins, so we'll be at least getting half our gems back, which is always nice. The deck's pretty decent. It's like I said, it doesn't have that huge food synergy payoff. Like, we don't have Bognaughties, we don't have like the uncommon enchantment. We don't have a billion tempting witches, but it grinds people into powder. If their deck is weak to that, we'll do fairly well. And we got the 2 for every runs against Mill, so I think it's fairly decently situated considering it's kind of just a good stuff deck. So we're gonna quit it for now, as I have labs, and I should probably eat some food before I go to class. So, yeah, like the momentum. Hopefully we can keep it going later on. See ya.